So I'm going to react to this video from the channel Asmongold Gold Clips. He's a popular YouTuber and he's a streamer as well.
But here's a group of Somalis who are fed up with Ilhan Omar. Oh yeah, apparently, so, people are aware that there's like a lot of Somali in like Minnesota. So there are, oh god. So there's Somali clans that wouldn't vote for that Omar guy because he was from a different clan. Jacob Frey apparently beat Omar Fateh in Minneapolis by exploiting Somali clan divisions.
Whether you are from Galmudug or Getaway, you are from Minneapolis.
Tribal politics. We now have elections in Minneapolis that are being decided by Somalian tribal politics.
So he's talking about the election between Omar Fatah and Jacob Frey for the mayor of Minneapolis. Ashmond, his take on this is very simplistic to drive home his point, but it's more complex than that, although his overarching point is quite correct. I think this video is very important because it explains in a nutshell why Africa is underdeveloped and why it's so easy for a foreign country to come into Africa and manipulate both sides. In fact, they don't even need to manipulate both sides. They just need to play them against each other because they already dislike each other. So this issue is not entirely about one tribe versus another. It's quite bigger than that. To understand it, you have to go back to when Somalia was colonized. So Somalia was colonized by the British, and Somaliland was colonized by, I think, the Italians. So after independence, both countries, in the spirit of pan-Somalianness, joined together as one country. But then they quickly realized that they're not compatible. So they decided, the Somaliland decided to break away from Somalia against Somalia's will. So ever since then, Somalia have been trying to get back Somaliland. And since Somalia is recognized internationally, they use their influence around the world to try to isolate Somaliland. So where does Ilhan Omar comes into this equation? See, this is the reason why I think that for you to serve as a public servant, especially as a politician in the Senate or in the House, you have to give up your dual citizenship. Because I believe that if you are a citizen of another country while you're serving in Congress or Senate, you're a foreign agent because you'll be representing the country, because a lot of times you'll be speaking on behalf of that country in most cases, especially in the case of Ilhan Omar. So the ladies in this clip, if you look at it, the reason why they hate Ilhan Omar is because Ilhan Omar is from Somalia and she works in the interests of Somalia. So, and she has been speaking out against Somaliland using her influence in Congress on behalf of Somalia to speak against Somaliland. So these people are
Ilhan Omar oo halkan idinla joogta baa kule dadkii Soomaali isku sheega. Who the fuck is she? Who is she? At the next election, you have to show who you are. You have to show who you are. Waxa laga doonayaa inaad dabada u tuurtaan. Waa ina la arko cidda aad tihiin. You have to show with pride.
They are from Somaliland. You can see Somaliland behind them, the flag of Somaliland. The interesting thing about Somaliland is, which is this section right here, Somaliland is a more progressive country, more developed country than Somalia. Somalia, if you guys remember Mogadishu, Mogadishu is where the United States Delta Force Black Hawk crashed. If you've seen that movie Black Hawk Down, this is happened in Mogadishu. Somalia is one of the worst countries in Africa. Somalia is not even in control of their entire territory because this is where Al-Shabaab, which is a terrorist organization. That's where they're from. So they're not in control of the entire territory, but they're trying to get Somaliland to merge. They want control of Somaliland. They don't even have control of the entire territory. So this Somalia is what Ian Omar is always speaking on behalf of. A year ago, when Ethiopia is a landlocked country. It's a very beautiful country, but landlocked. And they want access to the sea. So they made a deal with Somaliland for Somaliland to give them access to the sea. In return, they will recognize Somaliland because Somaliland is not recognized internationally. Well, Somalia didn't like that. So Somalia tried to get Egypt and other countries like Turkey to come against Ethiopia because Egypt hates Ethiopia. Somalia got their agent, who is in Congress. Their agent's name is Ilhan Omar, to speak against Ethiopia, to use the power of the United States against a Christian country, Ethiopia. And here is, I think I found a video on YouTube that mentioned something about it. Here's a video about that.
waa wadankii gabar idinka dhalatayne ee Congress-ka fadhiso intii aniga aan Congress joogo wadanka Soomaaliya.
Representative Ilhan Omar was harshly criticized by conservatives on social media after a video was shared showing her speaking about her support for Somalia, the nation from which she hails. In the video, the liberal Minnesota leader was addressing a crowd in a Minneapolis hotel when she spoke about Somaliland and the unrecognized state's deal with Ethiopia, which Somalia alleges infringes on its territory. The video shared on X contains an English translation which has not been verified by the Washington Examiner, though Omar's response suggests the translation could be at least largely accurate. The translation includes Omar saying she's in Congress to represent Somali Americans' interests and that the US will do what we want and nothing else. While it appears Omar was speaking to a largely Somali American crowd and showing support for her constituents and their motherland, many prominent users on X took issue with the video. Omar responded to the controversy, "It's not only slanted but completely off, but I wouldn't expect more from these propagandists. I pray for them and for their sanity. No nation state can survive if its states start to get involved in land lease negotiations with other countries without the consent of the federal government." The Minnesota Democrat was referring to Ethiopia's Memorandum of Understanding with Somaliland, a breakaway region of Somalia in which Somaliland agreed to lease part of its coastland to Ethiopia, a landlocked country.
So, as you can see, Ilhan Omar is basically a pit bull for Somalia. That gives you a lot of context to what went on in the mayor race, why one group of Somalians are against the other group of Somalia. Let's continue.
I am Somali and I can admit, bro, our people is the most divided people in the world. We are bringing this Qabilas thing to America, the same thing that killed our country, the tribalism.
Yeah, this is the whole reason why a lot of people don't want a lot of immigration from those places, is because people that come from those places bring their problems here. He's even saying it.
qofka Soomaaliga ah
When a Somalia person comes into me, they become a serious one.
dadkaasoo kaleetana
There are people like that living right here in our city, calling for rival clans to be expelled and pushed out. I just... Clash of Clans! We need to get rid of these people. We will never gain power and move forward as Somalians as long as these people live among us and we don't kick them out. Well, so why is it that you guys get to say all this, but then you go and say...
The idea that this is a white nation that needs to be preserved is a fascinatingly disgusting view, because this country is one for the many.
How the fuck are you criticizing white people when you guys can't even get along with your own clans? Y'all can't even figure this shit out yourself. And you're talking about getting them deported. They try to lecture us about racism, but the moment that they don't get their way, they start talking about kicking each other out of the country, even inside of their own little group. And this is what I've always said. Never listen to the people that say that they want acceptance. They want you to accept them. They don't want to accept you. They have no problem doing this to their own fucking people. I think this is the perfect moment that I can say exactly what I have been saying for years. that none of this stuff is anything other than self-serving rhetoric so these people can simply put themselves in more advantageous positions. That's literally it.